creative writing. I feel I haven't earned it yet. I got into literature because of the generous mentoring of Merly M. Alunan, then director of the Visayas Writing Program, VisWrite, of the University of the Philippines in the Visayas Tacloban College. It was April 2006 when I was accepted as fellow of the Panagsugat, All Visayas Creative Writing Workshop. I was trained in development communication work, so I was clueless about the many things discussed in the workshop. Only two things remain bright in my memory of those days. That Leon Chagariaga did not like my essay, and that Merly Alunan gave me my first lesson in craftsmanship while walking under the mahogany trees of UP Tacloban on the way to the workshop venue. Because Ma'am Merly likes to do that. What I learned in the workshop is only a fraction of what I learned from the many personal one-on-one sessions with Ma'am Merly. Okay, I'll get to that point later, but Ma'am Merly told me in that walk, the writer's perspective, she said, should be like that of the starfish, able to see the world from many directions. I write poetry and creative writing and creative nonfiction in English, so this was a good place to start. I returned the following year as fellow for poetry under the VisWrite workshop for writers in Eastern Visayas. I never left serious writing after that. Since then, I worked with Merly Alunan in various projects, the most defining of which was the 2008 All Visayas Centennial Creative Writing Workshop. This was a gathering of writers across the Visayas who wrote in one or more of its 5 major languages: Hiligaynon, Hinaraya, and Akyanon in Western Visayas, Cebuano in Central Visayas, and Waray in Eastern Visayas. These writers were also, of course, publishing in either Filipino or English or both. My job as their staff was to send the invitations, write the press releases, document the proceedings, and write the report to be submitted to the NCCA. I did that. I did those things for the workshop. This workshop introduced me to Cebuano writers like January Yap and Joshua Cabrera, and Hiligaynon and Hinaraya writers like Johnny Remil Chidoro and Jen Asenjo. This was also the workshop where I met for the first time Resel Muhares, where I heard Resel Muhares for the first time. Who else was there? Marge Ivasco was also invited in the workshop. That was the first time I met them. This served as my introduction to contemporary writing in the Visayas. Aside from Sa Atong Dila, you saw in the presentation of Januar, the cover of Sa Atong Dila, that used, when I started writing, Sa Atong Dila was a manuscript. It was a typescript reproduced by Ma'am Merly for the subject. There's a subject in UP Tacloban called Philippine Literature and the Languages. There were no materials. Ma'am Merly used to tell me there were no materials, so I have to gather them from different anthologies, different poetry collections, different short story collections. And so, Sa Atong Dila was there. I used to have a copy of that before Yolanda took it away. It's a typescript. The Sa Atong Dila now is a more developed version because it has questions. If you look at the book, there are questions at the end of the selections. In the typescript, there's none of those. It's just a basic collection of works of Visayan writers from across the Visayas. Okay. The VisWrite workshop eventually branched out to the Lameral Creative Writing Workshop. Sadly, the VisWrite workshop, the Visayas Writing Workshop, ended when Merly Alunan retired from UP. 2008, I think Ma'am Merly retired from UP 2008. This was the last workshop. The workshop that gathered all the writers, but writers from the Visayas. After that, it was the Lamera workshop. The Lamera workshop took over, but the Lamera workshop is also a child of the VisWrite workshop. It's It's an offspring of the Visrite workshop. It's Merle Lunan's handiwork as well, because what happened was she had this student. Probably if you're in the NCCA and the NCLA, you would have met him at one point. Phil Harold Mercurio was taught at Northwest Summer State University. That was called the Tiburcio Tancinco Memorial College, I think. I cannot remember the exact name of that school now. But it used to have a different name before it became the Northwest Summer State University. It's in Calbayog City. When that workshop started, I remember now the trip from Tacloban to Calbayog is 4 hours. It's 4 hours. So at that time, Marley Alunan was still young. So it's okay to travel for 4 hours. Younger. Okay, din naman siya young. I'm sorry. She wasn't anymore young at that time. But 4 hours. When the workshop started, the roads were bad to Calbayog. The roads were really bad. The roads in summer were bad for a long time. So it's usually 6 hours. That was the state of... good thing Harold said yes to Ma'am Merly. It was quite risky. Harold thought that the workshop was only going to last for, okay, let's just say yes to Ma'am Merly today. So maybe she will forget about it the next year. But it became a yearly thing. Eventually it became a yearly thing. Harold took it to himself to just take the workshop. To just hold the workshop yearly. But Harold was thinking before it was not going to last because it was remote. It was not in our remotest imagination. It was not in our imagination. It would last for 15 years. It's in its 15th year this year. Okay. Harold is a writer, cultural worker, a graduate of the Communication Arts program of UP Tacloban. According to Harold, Ma'am Merly encouraged him to hold a workshop at his university in Calbayog City, to which he obliged. I also worked in various capacities for this workshop. As staff, my job was to meet the riders, which I like to do. My job was to meet the riders at the airport and bring them to Calbayog, which was 4 hours away from Tacloban, among the many things that I do for the workshop. And I also worked as panelist. Before that, I was fellow to this workshop in its early years. I think the 4th Lamirao, I'm no longer sure. The 4th Lamirao, and the road to Calbayog was still bad, and today's 4-hour trip was a 6-hour drive. Previously administered by the Northwest Summer State University, Lamirao became a privately run workshop by the Katig Writers Network Incorporated. The Katig Writers Network is the umbrella organization of writers in Eastern Visayas. The workshop is brought to different parts of Eastern Visayas, the most recent of which was at the Visayas State University in Baybay, where I teach. Just the background of the university where I teach. VSU is said to be, we always like to say this, whenever people ask me, ano ba yung VSU? It's formerly called VISCA. It's said to be the prototype of LD. I don't know how true, because we have our own power plant, we have our own water source, and it's for free. We get water for free. I don't pay for my water bill. I live in campus, so I don't pay for my water bill. I only pay 100 pesos for my electricity. I miss home. So I've been on study leave for 3 years now. So it's very different back there. It's really raw. The writers you meet in the workshops have no idea what they got themselves into, except that they like to write. Except that you meet writers who really like to write poetry, who really thinks they can tell a story, but their readings are not as extensive as, let's say, a writer who applies for the IAS workshop or the Siliman University Writers Workshop. So the writers that we meet in Lamirao, in Visayas, these are really the young people, or not just young people, kasi meron kaming tricycle driver, for example, nag-a-apply. May farmer na nag-a-apply. And very good, by the way, one of the best writing that I've read, one of the best poetry that I've read in Waray literature come from groups of people outside of the academy. I have to say that. Alright. Right, sige. So now the workshop is in its 15th year, the Lamirao. And an anthology of the best writing from the workshop is in the offing. Okay, what am I currently working on? I'm completing a book of Waray translations of Philippine poetry in our languages, including English and Filipino. I hope for the time, I'm looking forward to the time, and I don't have to say Philippine literature in our languages, including English and Filipino. I hope for the time, and I'll just say Philippine literature, Philippine poetry. No? I think I've translated some of the writers here, some of the poets here. I have already done 20 of the 100 poems I'm going to translate. Yes, it's a long way to go, but I'm not backing out from the challenge that Cirilo Bautista gave to me. He gave me a challenge to come up with a book of 100 poems. Ito kasing si March. March Vasco brought me to the house of Cirilo Bautista one Christmas. And then he got to talk to Sir. And then he asked me, what are you working on? What are you writing? I write poetry. If you will come up with a book of poems, make it 100. So you'll be impressive. Ganun siya magsalita eh. So you'll be impressive. So, nawindang ako doon. Wait. Mahirap na ang isa eh. Masulat eh. So I think maybe my way into that, I want to take the challenge, but I'm going to go there via translations. I think translation is a field that is ripe. That's big. It's a huge field that people are, there are only a few people working on that field. So I want to get into that. I'm going to, okay, here. The project began, that book project of Waray translations began when I took translation as part of my coursework in comparative literature at UP Diliman. So I'm currently now in my for a third year. It's a year of exams. But before that, you have these courses you have to take. One of them is translation. I really love this subject. In that subject, we did a lot of translations, Nikokin and all that. But I took it to myself. Now, I want to finish this. I want to continue translating. Let's see how far this is going to take me. So I'm currently working on that project. And this is another project I'm currently working on. I'm also editing a collection of the critical essays of Merle M. Alunan. This began as a writer's biography project with the NCCA. Nangahas ako eh. I applied for that grant. There's a grant in the NCCA for biography writing, writer's biography. I applied for the grant. It's not a big amount. I didn't in fact get the whole amount because it's a, I don't know, my disbursement or something. I didn't get the whole amount. It's 50,000, but I didn't get the whole amount. I wrote the biography of Merle Alunan, but only in part. That was the advice of people in the NCLA because it's not so much. You can't work with that amount. You can't write so much. So I focus only on the Tacloban City part of the life of Merle Alunan, the life and works of Merle Alunan. And that was where I came across her huge body of work. She still writes poetry until now. I think I told one of you yesterday, Chuck Berry, I think also Sir Sunny, na Ma'am Merle has is working. Lumabas ang Running with Ghosts. It's a nominee it's one of the nominees ng the National Book Award. Pero merong isang folder sa laptop niya na bagong poetry collection. May bagong poetry collection pa na lalabas. And I think she's still writing up until now. Sulat lang ng sulat. After her retirement in UP, she started coming up with all these books. Yung, if you're familiar, I'm sure you're familiar with it kasi National Book Award din ito. Yung susumato niya na libro, yung Ateneo Press, ano yun eh, It started as a research project with the Little Summer Heritage Center. It took 10 years for that manuscript alone to be finished. And it took another couple of years to finish the whole manuscript. So I was inundated by this body of work. So I said, I think I should do something. I think I should do something about it. So this project, this Myrtle Alun biography, has brought me to different directions. I have written papers on Myrtle Alun as a poet, cultural worker, and translator. I'm done with the selections, and I'm now working on the critical introduction. Why Myrtle Alunan? Because she is one of Philippine literature's most important writers. You cannot go through Philippine literature without reading Myrtle M. Alunan. I also pursued the project because of her contribution to the growth of literature in the Visayas. Okay, so let me now present the highlights of Myrtle Alunan's status report on creative writing in Eastern Visayas, but just an introduction to Waray literature, or literature in Eastern Visayas. Literature in Eastern Visayas is not just written in Waray. Literature in Eastern Visayas is also written in Cebuano, and many different languages, Filipino, because you have Jerry Gracio, then English, because you have Gina Apostol, claim them eh. Ma'am Merly said, let's start claiming them. Okay, we have Jose Victor Peñaranda, who also writes in Waray. And then we have Daryl Delgado, who started writing in English, but she's now experimenting with Waray. I think the first short story in Waray she wrote got published in that book by Ateneo de Naga University Press, Our Memory of Water. And so that's where you find for the first time Daryl Delgado writing in Waray. Tim Montes, who also started writing in English. I think this answers the question of Sir Roland, Sir Neil. Now we began from writing in English kasi doon nanggaling ang mga framework, doon nanggaling ang pedagogy, ang techniques, tapos transfer or inappropriate ang pedagogy ng Philippine writing in English to our context. And Ma'am Merly does not deny that. In fact, she has a paper entitled Making a Center Out of the Center. She presented that in the Philippine International Arts Festival in Makati ba yun? Or I can't remember. Talking exactly about how the workshops in the South grew out of the Silliman Writers Workshop. Kasi yung mga alumnus naman ng alumni ng Silliman Writers Workshop ay nag-establish ng sarili-sarili nilang workshop sa iba't ibang bahagi ng Pilipinas. So you have Christine Godinez Ortega, Jaime Anlim, Leo Deriada, and Myrtle Alunan, of course, Rinda Alburo, who is also a Sillimanian. So basically it was laid down that paper by Ma'am Merly. Okay, so that's the language part. Waray, because I write in Waray, I translate in Waray, I speak in Waray, although I can understand Cebuano, but I'm more confident in Waray now. It has many dialectal variations. So that's actually the first part of Ma'am Merly's paper. It has many dialectal variations. So, but the most dominant is the Tagalog variant. Although there are works, poems, stories written in the other dialectal variants. For example, if you have the book sa Altong Tila, you can check the short story of Timothy Montes. So, according to Ma'am Merly, and according to Tim himself, because I happened to talk to him, that was his only short story in Waray. It's written in the Eastern Samar variant of Waray. So you see the flavor, you hear the flavor, you taste the flavor of the language. Iba siya sa Tacloban, iba siya sa Northern Samar. Jerry Gracio, who came out with Waray Hiunong sa Gugma, that's his new poetry collection in Waray, because meron siyang bago na naman, and there's another. So very prolific, very prolific. Itong Waray Hiunong sa Gugma, most of the poems written there are written in the Northern Samar variant of Waray. So maraming nangyayari na. Okay. But this was not the way it was in the 1980s. When Myrtle Alunan, Victor Sugbo, and David Nunativa taught at the UP Tacloban, the writing scene was almost almost, I don't want to say dead, but I'm afraid to say it was almost moribund or something like that. In fact, Bien Lombera made this statement. We always start the story with that statement. Na Waray literatures in the Visayas, literature in the South is dead. Meron siyang statement na ganon. Erlinda Alburo discussed that in her keynote lecture, in one of her keynote lectures at the Iligan workshop. I just cannot remember what year. So writers from the South resented that. So bakit dead? And Merle Alunan, reflecting on that statement, said, Bien Lombera was not actually being irresponsible when he said that. Kasi wala namang bagong manulat. Saan ang mga publishers niyo? Saan ang body of work niyan? So, we took the challenge to, sige, let's have a workshop. I'm aware that the theme of Kumustahan is workshopping the workshop. So I think it's a good time to talk about it, to start the conversation. So they organized this workshop, and they invited writers who are already writing for the radio. Okay, kasi ang Waray literature, maraming klase, maraming streams yan, apat ang alam ko. May stream ng workshop, may stream ng literature na galing sa academe, produced by academic writers, academe-based writers. Like Sugbo, for example, Victoria Sugbo, who writes in the academe. Like Voltaire today, Voltaire Oizon, who writes also in the academe. But there are also writers who write for radio. May yung pinakamalakas na form, this will answer the question of Eugene, na kung ano ang pinakamalakas na genre sa Waray literature, siday or poetry. Kasi yun ang maraming venue, ang dami-daming venue. Halimbawa sa radyo, magsabit ka lang ng poem sa radyo, may contest eh. So may prize ka pa, di ba? Tapos babasahin pa. Tapos yun, isang stream yun. Babasahin pa, may prize ka pa. Tapos makikilala ka pa. Anyway, it's not really, it's not a hefty sum, but people find it nice that their poems are read on air. The one who organized the radio poetry in Waray is Bebs Custodio. I think she was recently honored at the Gawat Laridel. Custodio, Francisca Custodio was the one who started that project. But you have also writing from the mountains of Samar, and I mean to say the revolutionary movement. The revolutionary movement produces one of the most the best poetry, I think. The best poetry, I think, in Waray literature. Kasi nakalubog sila. Although it's very difficult to gather data because it's dangerous up there. Okay? Or the way Sugbo gathered, this is how I found out. Sugbo gathered poetry from the revolutionary movement. They call themselves the Kagiusan. He gathered it by asking one of those poets, sila Eric Abella. It's in Tinipigan, to sing the songs of the movement, and he obliged. He sang the songs of the movement from memory. So it's found in Tinipigan, and I think Duke Pagulaya updated that in writing literary history by including an ismiling. The ismiling is a joust. Para siyang balitaw sa Cebuano or parang dalot sa Ilocos. Yung sasagutan babae at lalaki, nagliligawan. Except that, ang nililigawan ng lalaki, ang lalaki ay sundalo, ang nililigawan niya, ang minuho niya, hindi nililigawan kasi incestuous yan. Ang minuho niya ay inang bayan. Yan ang narrative ng ismiling ng mga taga-Kagiusan. So it's updated there in that book. Alright. So, ayun, marami. Tapos may tradition pa, sila Lucente, the tradition of writing of the Ilustrados, the Ilustrado class of Leyte. Sila Lucente, Romualdez Sr., Eduardo Macabenta. Okay? So marami, 4 na streams yan. Now, when Merle Alunan, the workshop, when Merle Alunan organized the workshop with Sugpo and Marino Piva, it was the writing scene was like that. There were very few books published. There were very few books, very few writers. And then when they opened the workshop, their first participants were sila, yung mga farmer, may farmer na writer. Na syempre, nagpapublish na siya sa radyo, na, bakit pa ako kailangan yung workshop? May ganong attitude. At saka pinublish ni Sugpo sa by the way, sa Tinitigan. Maximo Servidad. That's one of the names that one of the writers I admire in the language. Because he writes in a way, he's from Tuba, Haro. It's a town in Leyte. He's a farmer, and he writes in meter and rhyme, but not as rigid as the old form. Parang ginawa niyang iba eh. Mayroon siyang binago doon sa traditional. Okay, so those were the participants. Now the workshop, the Viswrite workshop, as I said earlier, grew into the Lamirao. Now we have like more writers. Dadaliin ko na lang. Maybe you can just ask me questions later. Kasi ang dami pa eh. So basically that's how Viswrite started. Right now we have at least sabi ni Ma'am dito, 6 collections of poetry, and then she asked me if there's something missing. So if there's something missing, then I supply. So hindi lang 6 eh. In the past few years, we have consistently been publishing poetry collections. Jose Dugpugulay, for example, came out with Linarang Mga Pulong, the CP Press. Jerry Gracio, Warahihulong sa Gugma. Victor Sugpo came out with The Purusan Dagat, which is his second poetry collection. And to my knowledge, Janice Claire Salvacion, this will answer the question of Ma'am Jing about the writers, the women writers. Kasi wala talagang babae nagsusulat. Sa panahon nila Lucente, early 20th century, during the early 20th century until, let's say, the DYVL, CDI, the radio poetry, there were no women writers. And the writing was not good. When hindi namin magustuhan. Were not as good as the writers that came, for example, after Merle Alunan intervened, 1985, 1986, 1989. Tapos nagkaroon na ng mga writers like, for example, Janice Claire Salvacion, who is the only writer in Waray, the only active women poet that I know in Waray, who has published a book. Kasi yung iba, I know of some women writers, but their books are still they're still coming up with the collection. Although I know of some of them. Okay, hindi pa siya marami, but it's an emergent field. It's an emergent area in Waray literature. As I said, ang pinakamalakas na genre ay poetry. Ang short story namin, medyo mahina talaga. At saka yung drama. Okay. Kwento ko na lang. Hindi ko na mapasahin yung lahat ng sinabi ni Ma'am Merly. Pero ikukwento ko na lang kasi 5 minutes na lang. Bakit nagkaganon? It was also a question in my mind, bakit ang lakas-lakas ng CDI sa Waray? Maybe because it's short. Hindi siya easy to write, pero it's not as demanding, let's say, for time. As a short story, or for like economics also something to do with it, I'm sure. Kasi yung short story writer namin, ang kilala ko lang na yung nagsimula talaga na nagsulat ay si Eduardo Macabenta. Pero ang tagal-tagal na nun eh. That was early 20th century pa. And he only wrote like, the only short story that survived is the short story defined in Santong Dila by Eduardo Macabenta. He was followed later on by Doms Pagliawan, Dominador Pagliawan, who has a collection of short stories in Waray. He is also the first one who wrote a novel in Waray, just recently after Yolanda. There was this panic, by the way, after Yolanda, to write. Oh, yeah, that's right. sila Tim Montes, Dar Delgado, later na sila. They later wrote in Waray. They started writing in Waray only after they have already written English. Pero Doms really started writing in Waray. Doms Pagliawan. So isa yan siya. And then there were also others. So sa drama naman, okay. Wait. Hindi ko nasabi kung bakit mahina ang production sa short story. Maybe because wala kaming publication venue. Kagaya ng Bisaya, meron sila yung mga Cebuano writers, meron silang Bisaya, yung Ilocano may Banawag, yung Mahiligay nun magazine, wala kaming ganon. Wala kaming publication venue for the short story. Tapos yung drama naman, masaya ang drama actually. Marami pa rin, especially yung mga may komedya pa eh. Kung gano'n ang magbabatayan natin, may mga ritual pa doon. Diyos ko, akong tanungin nyo. Mga ritual, mga komedya. Tapos there's a recent revival of the Zarzuela na when I was writing my paper for Unreal's class in UP, nashock ako na, ang dami ko palang napanood ng Zarzuela. Pero ito yung downside, ito yung hindi maganda kung bakit hindi lumalago ang drama sa Waray. Kasi nagdadrama lang, halimbawa kung may fiesta. So pag fiesta ng Santo Niño, magdadrama, susulat si Sugpo. Nagsusulat yan ng play para i-perform sa Tacloban ang play niya. At saka yung theater company niyan na nagpo-perform ay university-based. So ang mga actors niyan, hindi kagaya ng actors natin sa DUP na professional, di ba? Tapos marami talagang sponsor. Doon, raw talaga yan. Bino-workshop pa yan ni Sir Joey. Bino-workshop yan ng director. Sin raw. Tapos kung mag-graduate sila, babay na. Wala nang theater. Or what keeps theater alive are, the audience to watch kami. The writers who continue to write. Tapos, yung mga committed actors, committed alumni of this theater company. It's called the Sirang Theater Ensemble. There's another theater company in UP Tacloban. It's directed by Joyce Dorado Alegre. They also used to perform plays, but now I don't know what happened to the production. They only seem to have a certain repertoire. Limitado masyado ang repertoire. So, yun ang dalawang short story at saka drama talaga. Yung fiction at drama, yung mahina sa Waray literature. Pero pag poetry, ang daming nagsusulat ng poetry. Alright. Sige. I'll just finish this. Okay, what about other publications? More publications. Well, we've seen, for example, sa Atong Dila, Anthology of Visayan Literature, Susumaton. These are all Merle Alunan books. Susumaton, Oral Narratives of Leyte. These are the books published from 2016 to present. And then you have Tinalunay, Hinugpong nga Panurat nga Waray. Hinugpong nga Panurat nga Waray. Tinalunay is also UP Press. It's also a nominee now in the National Book Awards. Okay. And then, I included here the books that I edited. Kasi may concern si Ma'am Merly sabi niya sa paper niya, wala daw nag-aaral kay Lucente, kay Macabenta. Paano na yon? Actually, the KWF, the Commission of Witong Filipino, tapped me, Harold, and Rosario Nabong Kabat to come up with a collection of works of Lucente, by Lucente. It was published by the KWF with Filipino translation. It's entitled Mga Retrato ng Akong Bungto at Iba Pang Akda ni Eliminado Lucente. And then recently, ito namang si Christian Cordero, tinap din kami doon na may project si Yaroslav Ambassador, Czech Ambassador, mahilig si Christian na ganyan may gustong i-proyekto sa Waray. Nashock ako, why are you so interested? But sige lang, let's take in those projects. So I took it to myself to edit the work. It's a translation of European short stories in Waray. Sabi namin ni Jerry was my partner, Jerry Glash was my partner in editing this collection of translations, sabi namin, maybe this is a way to expand, to expand the fiction, the you know, to make to introduce new fiction to Waray, even if it's by translation, but let it be. So let's just translate. So we have a translation of Nobel Prize winners in this collection, like Sigrid Undset and Selma, I can't pronounce the Lagerlof, and many other writers like Thomas Mann. It was very challenging to translate kasi ang translate namin, Death in Venice. So, mamamatay-matay kami sa Death in Venice na translate. Okay. So, doon kami patungo ngayon sa Waray literature. I'm sorry I cannot present everything, but it's in the paper of Ma'am Merly. And I think she will like to share it. So I think that's it for today. In sum, we have a strong poetic tradition, short story, creative nonfiction, not really, yeah, and then children's story. Ito, ang kwento ko sa children's story, I hope it's okay na, I'm engaging. Ang children's story sa Waray, may itong sa akin, wala ba talagang children's story in Waray? Sabi ko, meron siya, pero oral siya. Kung yun ang story na ibig sabihin nyo. Tapos, hindi lang siya pang children, pero alam mo naman, yung mga oral story na yan, walang bata at matanda, kahit bastos yan, okay lang. Kasi hindi yan, kaya okay lang yan. Walang censorship yan pag oral tradition. Pero ang children's story talaga ng children's story ay nagsimula after Yolanda lang. Because of the intervention of writer of UNICEF. Di ba, as part of the therapy? Yeah, and then the Leyte Normal University came out with a series of books on, a series of children's books. On the disaster, and then they're coming out with another series on local heroes naman. Tapos may ganong trend. So after Yolanda lang siya, it's a product of disaster. After Yolanda nagkaroon na. So hindi pa. So yung pinakamalakas talaga ay poetry, yung drama, paunti-unti pa. Yeah. It takes a while, especially that I live in one of the most depressed regions in the country, and then it's typhoon ridden. There are many factors involved. I can talk about that all day. The many factors involved, why it's a struggling literature. Although it's amazing that it has produced writers of note like Supo, who writes good poetry, and Voltaire and Janice. And there are also a lot of things to translate. A lot of poems are being written in Waray that are untranslated. And short stories too, kasi may mga bata na nangangahas. May zine fest kasi kami, so yung mga pamphlet, doon nila, parang pamphlet na pinoproduce na doon, mga short stories nila napapublish. So I think I'll end there. Thank you.
Next up for